Imagine waking up one day and realizing every memory you have, your friends, your family, your past, might have been carefully planted inside your mind. Now imagine discovering that the people around you aren't trying to kill you because death isn't their greatest weapon. Forgetting is. That's exactly where Silo Season 3 takes us. Episode 2, titled It's All Good, may sound comforting, but don't let the title fool you, because by the time this episode ends, we'll discover a terrifying truth that changes everything we thought we knew about the silos. A secret buried for centuries, a conspiracy that's been quietly rewriting history, and an invisible enemy capable of controlling an entire civilization without firing a single bullet. Today, we're breaking down every major moment from Silo Season 3, Episode 2, uncovering hidden clues, explaining the biggest revelations, and exploring what they mean for Juliette and for everyone living in Silo 18. So sit back, and let's descend into one of television's most fascinating mysteries. Episode 2 wastes absolutely no time. It picks up just seconds after the shocking ending of the season premiere. Juliette Nichols has just discovered a mysterious handwritten note hidden inside her meal. The message is simple. If you want the truth, go to the marketplace. Burn this. Knowing she's constantly being watched, Juliette immediately tries to destroy the note before anyone sees it. But just as the paper catches fire, someone knocks on her door. It's Camille, the woman who's been caring for Juliette ever since she mysteriously returned from outside. Or at least, that's what Juliette has been led to believe. Trying to stay calm, Juliette hurriedly hides the burning paper. Camille notices the smell of smoke and asks what happened. Thinking fast, Juliette blurts out the first excuse that comes to mind. I was reheating pizza. It's awkward. It's obviously suspicious. But Camille simply smiles and lets it go. Or at least, that's what Juliette thinks. Moments later, the episode delivers one of its first major surprises. Camille isn't acting alone. She heads straight into the mysterious vault, where she communicates with the unseen intelligence known only as the algorithm. Unlike the leaders we've met before, the algorithm doesn't rely on guesswork. It already knows Juliette found the note. It already knows she lied, because hidden cameras have been watching every second inside Juliette's room. Every movement, every expression, every lie. Nothing escapes its attention. And what concerns the algorithm isn't the note itself. It's the fact that Juliette chose to hide it. That single decision proves something important. Despite losing months of memories, some part of Juliette still knows not to trust the people around her. Her instincts, the very instincts that made her dangerous in the first place, are starting to return. Camille becomes frustrated. Juliette should already be responding to the memory protocol. Instead, she keeps asking questions. She keeps noticing inconsistencies. So Camille asks the algorithm why the process is taking so long. Its answer changes everything. The algorithm calmly explains that this isn't the first time it's dealt with someone like Juliette. Over hundreds of years, there have been other people whose memories resisted manipulation. Then comes the bombshell. The algorithm reveals that 6 different silos have already undergone complete memory resets, including Silo 18, about 140 years ago. Think about what that means. For 3 seasons, we've heard whispers about an ancient rebellion. We've been told entire generations simply forgot what happened. Now we learn those memories may never have disappeared naturally. They may have been erased, on purpose. Suddenly, the history of the silos looks completely different. What if every generation has only known the version of history someone wanted them to remember? What if the truth has been rewritten, again, for centuries? The algorithm doesn't stop there. It classifies Juliette as an outlier, a statistical anomaly, someone who isn't responding to treatment, which means it's time to change strategy. Her meditation will be increased, security around her will be tightened, and Deputy Jerry receives one very simple assignment: never let Juliette out of his sight. From now on, every step she takes, every conversation she has, every person she meets will be monitored. The cage around Juliette isn't made of steel, it's made of people. As the present grows darker, the story shifts hundreds of years into the past, long before the silos, long before the rebellion, long before anyone ever imagined living underground. Congressman Daniel Keene continues visiting his sister Charlotte, the only survivor of a mysterious military mission. She's physically alive, but mentally, something is terribly wrong. Daniel brings old family photographs. He tells childhood stories. He tries everything he can think of to trigger her memory. For a brief moment, Charlotte looks at him and quietly says, "Donald." Daniel freezes. That's not his name. It's a tiny mistake, but it's heartbreaking, because it tells us Charlotte hasn't simply forgotten one traumatic event. Her entire identity is beginning to unravel. Searching for answers, Daniel meets Charlotte's physician, Dr. Victor Krinkovich. At first, Victor seems calm, kind, almost comforting, but everything he says carries a chilling implication. He explains memory using a simple comparison. Imagine a castle separated by a drawbridge. On one side, your conscious mind. On the other, your memories. His medication raises that bridge. The memories don't disappear, They're simply cut off, hidden behind a wall the patient can no longer cross. It sounds like an extraordinary medical breakthrough, a way to protect people from unbearable trauma, but Daniel immediately realizes the terrifying implication. If someone can block memories, what's stopping them from replacing them? Victor doesn't deny it. Instead, he calmly explains that doctors repeatedly tell patients their own life story until the brain begins accepting it again. Except, there's one horrifying possibility. What if the story isn't true? What if someone chooses to tell a completely different story? Would the patient even know? And suddenly, everything happening to Juliette in the present begins making horrifying sense. She isn't just suffering from amnesia. Someone has been rewriting her reality.
As Juliette struggles to make sense of the mysterious note, she decides to visit Mechanical, hoping Martha Walker can explain what's happening. But before she gets there, Knox gives her an important clue. If she really wants answers, she needs to find Lucas Kyle, Bernard's former shadow, who disappeared while investigating the mysterious digger. Walker doesn't give Juliette the answers she's looking for. Instead, she reminds her of the person she used to be, a woman who never stopped asking questions, and hands her back her old multi-tool, hoping it will help trigger forgotten memories. Meanwhile, in the past, reporter Helen Drew refuses to believe the official story behind Charlotte's military mission. She secretly visits Charlotte at the clinic and pushes her to remember what happened in Turkmenistan. Instead of answers, Charlotte suffers a panic attack, proving her memories are still buried somewhere beneath the medication. Outside the clinic, Helen reveals the shocking truth to Daniel. Charlotte had approached her before the mission because she believed something suspicious was happening. Their aircraft carried bunker-busting bombs instead of weapons meant for nuclear targets, and their modern communication systems had been replaced with outdated analog equipment. Someone wanted that mission hidden. Back in Silo 18, Juliette finally follows the instructions on the note and heads to the marketplace. Deputy Jerry refuses to leave her alone, so Juliette creates a distraction, accusing him of inappropriate behavior. As the crowd swarms around Jerry, she slips away unnoticed. Deep beneath the marketplace, Juliette finally meets Patrick Kennedy, Danny, and Sandy, the underground resistance. They revealed the devastating truth. The pills she's been taking aren't medicine. They're memory-suppressing drugs. Even more shocking, they show her the helmet she wore after returning from outside. Instead of the number 18, it's marked 17. That tiny detail changes everything. Juliette didn't return from a simple shelter. She came from another silo. Before Juliette can process everything she's learned, security closes in. The resistance is betrayed by one of Juliette's own admirers, forcing everyone to flee through hidden tunnels. Camille questions Juliette about what happened, but Juliette lies once again, pretending Patrick was simply spreading false rumors about the outside world. For the first time, Deputy Jerry quietly admits something surprising. Treating Juliette like a prisoner doesn't feel right. Although he follows orders, he's willing to help her if she truly needs it. Meanwhile, Sheriff Paul Billings faces problems of his own. He's investigating the disappearance of Orla Kent, while secretly struggling with his own doubts about the pact. Even worse, his wife Kathleen is revealed to be secretly helping the resistance, placing Billings directly between both sides of the conflict. Back in the vault, Camille reports to the mysterious algorithm, believing Juliette is under control. The algorithm disagrees. It reveals that Juliette was never supposed to survive. The only reason she's still alive is because the people trust her, and removing her too soon could trigger another rebellion. But then comes the episode's biggest twist. The algorithm announces a backup plan. Large barrels labeled vitamin D+ are being transported through the silo. They're not vitamins, they're memory-altering chemicals. The plan is to release them into the water supply and erase everyone's memories, not just Juliette's, everyone's. The episode ends with Juliette making her most important decision yet. Instead of swallowing her daily vitamins, she secretly spits them into the sink. Moments later, while staring at the stars displayed on the cafeteria screen, fragments of her memories begin returning. She remembers Lucas Kyle explaining the constellations to her. It's proof that the medication was never helping her. It was keeping her trapped. Unfortunately, the nurse discovers the discarded pills almost immediately, meaning Juliette's secret won't stay hidden for long. Meanwhile, Daniel finally realizes Charlotte's accident was part of something much larger, while Helen edges closer to exposing a conspiracy that stretches back centuries. By the end of episode 2, both timelines point toward the same terrifying conclusion. The greatest weapon inside the silo isn't violence, it's memory. If you can erase people's past, you can control their future. And those mysterious vitamin D+ barrels suggest the algorithm is preparing to rewrite history all over again. Episode 2 may move slower than the premiere, but it dramatically expands the world of Silo, proving that the season isn't just about surviving, it's about remembering. And once Juliette remembers everything, the people controlling Silo 18 may finally lose control.